Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. Good evening. Welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Melissa Wade. I'm the Managing Director of Mental Health for KIPP DC, and I'm very excited to be doing my first KIPP conversation for KIPP DC. I'm also very excited to talk about this topic, which is around mental health, specifically around how we as an organization want to support mental health during remote learning. Everyone on this call is going through the pandemic. Everyone on this call is going through the pandemic in a very different way. And I think through these times, we all realize that mental health is pretty important, both to take care of ourselves and also to make sure the people around us are also very healthy and well. So we're going to talk a little bit about what that means and what kind of supports KIPP DC can provide you and your network of loved ones. So I have the wonderful privilege of managing a large group of what we call mental health practitioners at KIPP DC. You can see this lovely group right there in the picture on your screen. We have a large team in our network and at our schools. And basically what we do is we work at service for our parents as well as for our students and also for our staff. So who we are and what we do. We have about 50 total mental health practitioners in our schools at KIPP DC. And we have a very wide range of lots of different supports that we provide. Everything from providing services to students with IEPs, also to students who do not have IEPs. We also focus a lot on crisis management. So whenever a student or a family is in a crisis, it's our job to respond immediately and effectively to help them negotiate that crisis. We also provide wraparound services for families, particularly families who might be going through any type of hardship or need some resources that are in their community. And also because we are a school district, we collaborate very closely with school staff. So we work very much in sync with teachers, your principals and vice principals and school leaders, just to make sure that we are very well versed in what the needs are for the student body when it comes to social emotional health. So throughout the presentation today, you're going to learn a lot about our partnerships, but we wanted to make sure at the beginning that you knew how to get in contact with all the people that you're going to hear from, as well as from the mental health practitioners at your schools. So what we will do later on is put in the chat, we have a web page that links all of our mental health resources and also gives you an opportunity to reach out and contact the mental health team at your child's school. So the website is there on the screen. We'll also put it in the chat room so that you can record it and log in a little bit later if you want to reach out to your child's school mental health team. But I just wanted to make sure I put that at the very beginning. So as you hear about some of the different supports, you can reach out if you are so inclined. So on to tonight's main event. So one of the great things about working for KIPP DC is that we have lots of partnerships with lots of different organizations. And in particular with our mental health team, we partner with 3 different organizations, 2 of which are going to be showcased this evening. Our first partnership is with Catholic Charities DC. Woo, Catholic Charities! And our second partnership is with Mary's Center, and they're also going to present to us as well. And you'll have an opportunity to meet all the clinicians from those organizations that are in your schools and also chat with them this evening and ask questions. Our third partnership is with MedStar Georgetown Wise. They're one of our longest running partnerships at KIPP DC. And in our future KIPP conversations, we'll have an opportunity to talk with them as well. So without further ado, I'm going to kick it off to our first presenter, our first partnership organization, which is Catholic Charities.
Hi, everybody. My name is Kashana Watson. I am the program manager for our school-based mental health team at Catholic Charities. We're really excited to be here tonight with our KIPP family, as we like to call you guys, and get to see some faces and also meet some new faces as well. The team is going to take a few moments to kind of go over some slides with you all so that you can kind of get to know the therapists that are currently placed at your school. So I'll let them introduce themselves as they kind of go through the slides so you can get to know them and hear their voices as they talk to you, and they'll also let you know what KIPP school they're assigned to. So thank you for having us. We look forward to working with all of you all, and team, take it away. We can go ahead and go to the next slide. Here we go. These are our wonderful team members, and they're going to take it from here.
I can start us off. Hi, everyone. My name is Joe Mills. I am connected to the Smilo campus and specifically Quest Academy. If we wanted to go through all of them, we can, but I can just continue with the slides if we would like to. Sure, if we go to the next slide. Okay. We are Catholic Charities, a school-based mental health program, and we operate through a grant from the DBH School Behavioral Health Expansion. We've been working with DC schools since fall 2019, so we're a pretty new program, but we're very excited and eager to help out our school families. Currently, we have 17 partner schools, and we are growing more and more every day, and we're including new clinicians every quarter, basically. And we strive to support not just students and families, but the teachers and staff, just the whole entire school community through tiered services. If we go to the next slide, please. We have a tier system, 3 tiers. Our first one is Tier 1. That's our bigger umbrella of services. These are initiatives that target the entire school. Examples could be anti-bullying campaigns, making boards out in the hallway, suicide prevention, mindfulness Mondays, lots of different things. And we try to target just everyone focused with the school. With Tier 2, it's a little more targeted towards group services. These can be along the same lines as Tier 1, but a little more less people. So some examples, they're more specialized groups like teacher support, lunch groups, boys groups, mindfulness groups, things of that sort. And then finally, Tier 3, that's the very individualized services that we focus on the kids who really need some extra support. And these aren't for everyone. This is like this slide says, it's about 10%, not many kids, but this is very individualized for each student and their families. Continuing with the individual services, we have individual therapy, and this is when students can meet with their therapist once or more weekly to work through presenting concerns, and group therapy, like the Tier 2, and family therapy too. We provide these services for students 4 years old to 18 years old, and we provide time limits for the types of sessions. For instance, typically a student will meet with their assigned therapist for about 60 minutes per week, but this can be split up for different times throughout the week if that's necessary. And some of the group sessions, those can range from anywhere from 20 minutes to even longer. So it really depends on the session.
Okay. Hi, I'm Ms. McComb. I'm at KIPP Lead Academy. So shout out to any parents from KIPP Lead here today. Thank you for coming. Welcome. So I'm going to take over the next couple of slides. You can go to the next slide. Okay, so since we're school-based mental health, that means that we're supporting our kiddos inside the classroom. And what this could look like, it could be a push-in. We could come in and support the kid through a push-in, and we can help them with self-regulation, implementing any coping skills from their individual sessions that they have learned or group sessions. We can do teacher consults, and this is basically when we consult with the teacher. We can provide strategies, coping skills for the kids, for the teacher to use during their time with their teachers in the classroom. And we also do classroom observations, and these observations are done to collect data and to help us assess the behaviors in the classroom so we can add them to the treatment goals and plan. So we also do drop-ins, and those are for those kids that are not on our caseload, but they need support as well. So we can do 3 drop-ins with students. They can also participate in Tier 2 services, which is with our groups, and they can be a grief and loss group or all types of different groups. We also do like pro-social skill building groups, peer engagement, positive peer engagement groups. So those are services we do offer to kids that are not on our caseload as well. You can go to the next slide. So currently, all of our services that we're providing, we are providing them in a virtual space because of the pandemic and everything that's going on. So all of our kiddos are still receiving services, individual, group, and family services through virtual space. And we do this depending on our schools. So some schools use Zoom and some schools use Teams. So these are 2 of the platforms we use that are also HIPAA compliant. So that means that it's confidential and we can use these platforms to provide services. So depending on the school, we'll use these services to provide those services.
We're having a little bit, I think Miss Tony is still muted there. So while she's trying to,
I'm sorry.
Here we go.
Okay, let me try this again. Hello, everyone. My name is Miss Rogers, and I am the therapist located at KIPP Somerset. And I will be going over some new services that we offer through Catholic Charities. And this is the Anchor Children's Services through Catholic Charities, which is a core service provider for Department of Behavioral Health. So we provide services defined by the DC Mental Health Rehabilitation Services that includes a comprehensive intake, diagnosis, case management services, and medication management. Our clinicians work with students to improve the students' learning, ability to cope with stress, develop skills that promote positive social interactions, and that increase students' overall well-being. Next slide, please. The new services also include psychiatry. The primary role of the psychiatrist is to provide diagnosis, treatment, and prevention of mental, emotional, and behavioral disorders. Our psychiatrists can provide medication management as well as virtual psychiatric appointments. Through outreach and collaboration, community support specialists supports the school-based mental health therapists, psychiatrists, with appointments, reminder calls, follow-up calls, insurance verification, and ensuring labs and medical appointments have been completed. CSS, or the Collaboration Community Support Specialist, will be assigned a caseload to provide support in navigating community resources and school-based needs. CSS will promote achievement of students' treatment plan goals.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for logging on in to that tonight. My name is Kara Carmichael, and I work at KIPP AIM Academy, the middle school at the Douglas campus. And I'm going to explain something that we incorporated during this remote virtual space, which is our glow up bags. And the motto or theme of it is shine your light as you learn new ways to increase your skills in social, emotional learning, build mental strength, and glean in personal development. So we created the idea, each therapist created bags, or we have the same bag, but we picked different tools that we might have in our office but we put them in the bag so we can give them to our students while they are at home. And so it's a way, okay, so it allows the students to have like those necessary tools, whether it's like a stress ball or like kinetic sand to kind of like process, and they can use it during therapy sessions or as a like coping tool in a class if they need a fidget or something like that. It's like a one-stop shop for coping skills and tools. And we work with the students about appropriate use of the tools, and we want to kind of promote that it's not a toy, even though it may look like a toy, but it's a tool, so they take good care of it and like use it responsibly. And we created it, we put the tools in a bag, and we wanted to design the bag and make it look, you know, cute and nice for our kids, because we want them to like use it as they go from house to house, or they have to go to grandma's house or aunt's house during the day. They can have everything just in one bag. And so we can go to the next slide. So some things that are in the bags are different tools. Each therapist picked different things, but all of the bags have these headphones. And I know KIPP gives out headphones, but this is an extra set of headphones for our kiddos if they are in another house and they might just need to keep it in their bags or they travel, they'll have their headphones. Some therapists use kinetic sand. We have like a whiteboard and a Sharpie, color pencils, little jars to create like gratitude jars or affirmation jars, fidgets and things like that. But each bag is a little bit different, but it's based on, each therapist did it based on the majority needs of their caseload. So yes, you can go to the next slide, please.
Right. Good evening, everyone. My name is James Marafino. I am with KIPP DC Valor, and this is one of our last slides. So I'm just going to kind of go over again some of the ground rules with the glow up bags, as Kara was mentioning. So again, the motto is shine your light as you learn new ways to increase your skills in social emotional learning, build mental strength, and clean and personal development. So again, first of all, you know, the use of the glow bag, you know, this is for the child receiving the services only. So we're not, you know, just giving this out to, you know, anyone, you know, who we just see. It's like, you know, like tier 1, it's like we're about tier 3, you know, ones we're working with individually, and maybe, you know, if they want to use it however they want. And as Kara was mentioning, these are tools, not toys. You know, they're ways to cope with, you know, stress that's going on, especially right now where I'm sure it's difficult not being outside all the time, or seeing their friends, or, you know, just being on the computer all day, you know, staring at the screen. You know, this is a way to help cope with their stress. And you know, I definitely just want to say, you know, it doesn't just have to be used in individual therapy sessions or even the classrooms. This could be used, you know, after school. This could be, you know, used for, you know, on the weekends. You know, it's like, you know, if they're just having anxious moment or they're really upset, you know, these are some of the tools that they can use. And because they're tools, not toys, we want to keep these tools safe. You know, we are giving them to the children, and you know, they are meant to last, you know, for the entire school year, and they will not be replaced. We want to make sure that they're being used respectfully and for their purpose. You know, again, about coping with any stressful situations that they might be in at the time. And that includes the headphones as well. The headphones and the other items in the glow bags will not be replaced. And also the headphones, that helps ensure privacy. So, you know, if your child is having an individual session with one of us, and, you know, instead of just, you know, people, you know, just constantly hearing our voice, you know, as we're trying to work with them, you know, maybe this kind of helps them, you know, if we're talking about some more difficult things, it kind of gives the child a sense of, you know, security or privacy, where they're able to maybe talk about some of these things, you know, just to help them. So, yeah, I think we can go to the next slide.
So thank you guys so much for tuning in. And I apologize, my dog is being slightly aggressive right now. So thank you for tuning in and learning about the things that we offer at Catholic Charities. We're excited again to work with all of you. And I wanted to give you an opportunity to kind of meet the therapists and hear from them as they're at maybe possibly one of your schools. I know we did a lot of talking, so we have a few minutes before the next CBO, and we wanted to take a time to really hear from you guys. Do you have any questions for any of the therapists or myself about the services that we're able to offer to KIPP and to the KIPP community?
Hello, yes, I tuned in late, just tuning in. So will it be possible to send some information to my email?
Yes, we are actually recording this presentation, as well as we'll provide the slides after the presentation is over. So you'll be able to get, the full recording, as well as to go through the slides in case you missed anything.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much.
No problem. Great question, though.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello. Yes. Do you have therapists at Promise DC, KIPP Promise?
We actually do have clinicians at Promise. They are part of our next CBO who's going to be presenting from Mary Center. So we'll be able to answer your specific questions once they present in a couple more minutes.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Oh, okay, I can answer another question. On the push-ins, those, I got part of what the slide was showing. It said therapists support students with self, and I didn't get the other part.
Sure, I could take a stab at that. And then if any of my clinicians want to chime in and add anything, that would be great. Push-In is a wonderful service that we offer, and it's pretty much support in the classroom. So if your student's been identified as someone who may need a little bit more support, the therapist can actually enter in the classroom virtually, now that we're kind of in this distance learning setting, and they can do a breakout room with the student to kind of talk them through what they may be experiencing, offer them some skills, and work with them to get them back into their classroom. So that's one way that Push-Ins is designed. Eventually, when the time is appropriate and we go back into the building for learning, the clinician would be in-house in the building and would be able to go directly to the classroom to support a student in that way.
So are the clinicians who had previous what do y'all call them, clients?
Clients or students, whatever's comfortable.
Right, okay, had previous students before we did the virtual learning. Are they still interacting with their students now?
Absolutely. We are still interacting with our students online in the virtual setting. We've offered services throughout the summer. We also try to offer supportive services to families that need support outside of the classroom. So we really try to work with the families to make sure that we know what your needs are and how we can support you. But yes, there's definitely therapy still happening before and after the pandemic.
Kashana, there is a question in the chat from Andrea Jones, and she asks, are these services included in the IEP or 504 since offering push-in services? And I can answer that. So we work with students who do not have IEP or 504 plans. So our caseload is made up of general education students to provide extra support to them. And Melissa Wade just also put all of the clinicians presenting this evening work. Okay, what I just said. But if they do have an IEP or 504 plan, I believe the MHPs do push-in support as well if they have that.
Yep, that's correct. So the MHPs, the mental health practitioners who are at your child's school, who work for KIPP DC, they're the ones who work primarily with students who have IEPs and who have 504 plans. That's a good question.
I do have a question. So how will I know if my son needs this type of assistance?
Melissa, would you like for me? I could give you the Catholic Charities response. So currently there are referral forms, and you as a parent or your son's teacher can make a referral to work with any of the MHPs. And KIPP has the process of kind of identifying and working with you and assigning you to a clinician. What school is your son currently at?
He goes to KIPP Spring.
Okay.
He's in 3rd grade. So what if he doesn't need the academics, but maybe in a different area, like, I mean, like maybe like learning how to focus? I believe my son, he has, problems with focusing, but he participates and he receives good grades. But that's why I was asking, how do you know if your child would need these services?
That's a really great question. We actually have one of our clinicians from Mary Center. She's also on tonight's call, and they're going to present in a little bit as well to speak specifically to spring. But in terms of trying to figure out like if your student actually will need support, that's where you definitely like reach out to the mental health team at your school and you have a conversation about some of the things that you're seeing, right? So when you talk with someone, either a mental health practitioner or one of the clinicians here this evening, you want to talk a lot about what are some of the things that you're seeing as the child is on Zoom or in the classroom, what's been done in the past, and just some of the other concerns that you have so that that school team, the mental health team at the school, can try and figure out like what are the next steps. Are there supports that need to be done for the student in the classroom? There's a long list of different kind of interventions and supports that can be done, but it's best to kind of have that initial conversation to talk a little bit about the things that you're seeing and some of your concerns.
Oh, excellent. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Melissa, would it be okay if I jumped in here just a little bit too?
Sure.
Hi, guys. I'm Dr. Spranoga. I'm the lead clinical psychologist for KIPP DC. And to your point about your son who is in 3rd grade at Spring Academy, please click that link on the website that is in the chat and fill out a request form. And that can get you in contact with a member of the mental health team at Spring. And there's a bunch of options there about what sort of things you're concerned about, and that will connect you directly with somebody from the team who can have that conversation with you in the next few days.
You want me?
Okay, are there any other questions for Catholic Charities before we move on to our next presenter, Mary Center?
Thank you so much. I somehow lost the Zoom visit, but thank you so much for the psychologist that was just giving me the information. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Okay, so let's move on to our next group of presenters. As I mentioned before, we have another partnership with Mary Center, who's another entity that's working in our schools and has another group of clinicians that are on our call tonight that are going to speak to us. So I'm going to hand it over to our Mary Center folks. Give it up for Mary Center.
Hi, I hope everyone can hear me. But hi, welcome to everybody. I'm so glad that you all came out to conversation to learn more about, the CBOs at your school. And we're so excited as a Mary Center to be part of your schools. Just to let you know that along with myself, I have other presenters with me who are other therapists. We have Tiffany Vulcan. She's a licensed professional counselor, and she's at KCP. We have Jessica Setu, who is a licensed clinical social worker, and she's at Promise. And then we have Hannah Coleman, who is our social work intern, and she will be working alongside with Tiffany at KCP. And then myself, which is Shereece Fraites, and I'm a licensed graduate social worker at Spring. So we can go to the next slide. Yeah. So we're just going to talk a little bit about us as the Mary Center Agency on a whole. So we were established in 1988. And as you can see, our mission is to embrace all communities and provide high quality healthcare, education, and social services to build better futures for the communities and families that we serve. So we basically have a social change model, and what that means is that we thought that treating and helping people with their health problems was just not enough to really help people with their well-being and to be really a wraparound service for our families. So along with providing comprehensive healthcare, we do services that go along with dual generation education, along with social services to really address all the different aspects for families and the communities that we serve. So they can have a very strong well-being and really impact the quality of life for the families that we serve. So over the time that we have served over 54,000 participants from many backgrounds. We have 5 full service community health services in the DMV area. And we also have partnered a little over 23 schools in our DC area. We can go to the next slide.
Hello, can everyone hear me okay? Awesome. I've been having some tech challenges, so hopefully we're going to get through this. Good evening. Thank you all for coming tonight. My name is Jessica Satut. I am the mental health therapist at KIPP Promise. Thanks, Shereece, for that great intro. The next 3 slides I'm going to share is really just highlighting exactly what Shereece just talked about. We are here as the school-based behavioral health team, but Mary Center also provides holistic care. So that looks like medical, dental, nutrition care, and the list goes on. So if you ever have any questions about specific types of supports that could benefit your child or your family, then reach out to us, your therapist, the school team, or call Mary Center directly so we could get you connected. And the next slide will show you a list of our social services, social service programs that we offer. So in addition to behavioral health, some school partnerships also have what we call community support worker that could help you with case management, legal services, just to name a few. There's been big push with the census. So some of our CSWs was helping families sign up for the census and getting connections to resources, especially in the times that we're in with the pandemic. So the next slide will also show that we also provide educational services. So if Mary Center has a big population of diverse people that we serve. So sometimes people migrate from other countries and English isn't their first language. So we offer English as a second language programs. Digital literacy, which is huge right now, is also a service that we provide. And also there's a new program that's emerging to support fathers. Getting their buy-in, supporting them, and empowering them to also receive the services that they need to provide services for their children as well. Is services that we provide.
Hi, everyone. This is Hannah. I'm the intern, and I'll talk a little bit more about myself on a later slide. With Mary Center, by collaborating with partner schools like KIPP and with the support of the U.S. Department of Behavioral Health, Mary Center school-based mental health team increases student, family, and the school community overall's positive mental health and well-being. So our program supplements and enhances the existing school's wellness team by providing individual, family, and group therapy on site. Of course, now we're virtual. In addition to prevention services and education, and then early interventions to the school community. And these are the Mary Center is located in these locations. So KIPP DC College Prep, that is where myself and Ms. Boykin are. And then you heard from the KIPP DC Benning campus. We're in Promise Academy, and Keys Academy is coming very soon. And then we're in KIPP DC Web Campus at Spring Academy and Northeast Academy.
So at Mary Center, with the grant that we have with DBH, we are a part of the school community as an added support. School clinicians or school-based social workers are really inundated with meeting the needs of students that have disabilities at school. And so we don't duplicate services, we supplement the services that are there, and we meet the needs of students that are not being served under IEPs or 504 plans. And so through the referral process, the social work team, which we are all parts of, receive referrals from teachers, from families, and some self-referrals from students so that we can meet their needs. That usually is tier 2 or tier 3. For tier 1, we provide services for everyone that anyone can access without needing a referral. So tier 1 services would be services that serve all students or all students in a particular grade level, all staff, or all parents. And their tier 2 services will be specialized supports for students that have an added level of need. And tier 2 services require a referral so that we can track the needs of students and make sure that we are giving them what they need in order to be available to benefit from the academic program at KIPP. And tier 3 are services that are more specialized for students that really need specific mental health interventions. And those are usually individualized support. While at our schools, we also do the diagnostic evaluations and treatments, as well as referrals to other levels of care. We do have psychiatry, as was mentioned before. And we also support families with linkages to different programs, including workforce development and adult education. Mary Center also provides professional development supports for teachers and for parents and families. On the other side, for the BRIA Center, there is also educational supports for workforce development. Things like the CDA and other certificates can be earned through that program for parents that are looking to change careers. So next slide. This tells you a little bit about me. I am Tiffany Boykin, and I came on board with the partnership in 2018. And when I came on board, the need was so significant that there was a referral list of students that were waiting to be seen. And I think when I came on, there was about 30 students that had been referred. And so the first year of my work at KCP really focused on providing individual support. And then in 2019, I implemented several groups. One of the groups was a girls group, which focused on coping skills for young ladies that had experienced trauma. And the other group I did was the expressive arts group for guys, where we did art-based interventions to help them work through their trauma. And for this year, 2020, some of the new interventions that will be rolling out starting the first week in November will be Mindful Mondays at 9 a.m. And that support is a tier 1 service for families. So students and parents can participate and log in for that. And then on First Fridays, I will be providing Breakfast Bites with Miss B, and that is basically mental health support on topics related to behavior management, and also self-care for families, primarily parents. First Fridays on at 9 a.m. Another intervention that I started during COVID was Movement for Mental Health. Because when we went home, things were great for the first month, but then the second month there was more challenges, and I realized that a lot of my students on my caseload needed additional support to manage some of the emerging emotional distress from being inside. And so the Movement for Mental Health included some kind of reflection of where you were emotionally at the beginning, and then we did 20 minutes of movement. And then after the 20 minutes of movement, there's a reflection of what was the shift, what was the change, and what emerged. So I will be bringing that back starting in November for students. Coping skills group is really for students who have had significant struggle with anxiety, depression, suicidal ideation, or significant emotional distress. The first round of the coping skills group will be for students who are currently being serviced by clinicians, either clinicians that are providing services to IEPs and 504s because they need that extra support, or students that are already referred for services. And the coping skills group will be an 8-week group that focus on a set of skills as well as relationship skills to improve their ability to cope with things that they're faced with. Round 2 of coping skills group would be for students that are referred or parents that refer or students that self-refer. Another new intervention is the EFFT, which is Emotional Focused Family Therapy. And this approach will be for parents who have students who have significant emotional needs where there are acting out behaviors that parents have to contend with at home. And this approach teaches parents super parenting skills that will allow them to do some of the things that their students will receive from therapy, individual therapy, but they are reinforced at home because parents spend more time with their children than we do. So EFFT would be a new thing that we're launching for parents who have students that are having significant emotional distress, and then parents are encountering that and needing some skills on how to manage that without exacerbating it. And then again, the art-based trauma interventions will be coming back online with the GUYS group. We will be using technology-based art efforts to engage young men in a different way. So we're excited about launching that this year. And so that's it for now. I'll turn it over to Hannah.
Hi again. So I am interning at KIPP College Prep. This is my first semester, and what a time to start. I'm currently a Master's of Social Work student at Howard University. And so this slide kind of breaks down the 3 things that I'm doing at KCP, and I'll start first with the community support resources. So this could be, I could be working with a student or a student and their parent and siblings to help get your family connected to resources such as housing, insurance, food, clothing. Obviously, I can refer you to the Mary Center supports that already exist or other outside organizations that may meet your needs better. I think one thing about my role, which is great, is that I can help you problem solve and kind of help you piece together exactly what's best for you. And also, if you're having issues, maybe applying for something that you need, I have the opportunity to walk you through that process. I'm sorry, it's an active time in the neighborhood right now, so there's some noise in my background. Second, I do one-on-one skill building and support. So this might be a longer term throughout the year, meeting with a student once a week to help them reach their goals as it relates to school or personal goals, or it can be related to their counseling goals. If they're seeing a mental health provider, I can work with them as well and help them. And then finally, I support with groups. This fall, we're kicking off the Student Success Skills group at KCP. This is an 8-week virtual small group skills group. And basically we're learning and practicing like the basics of organization, prioritizing and problem solving, and creating healthy habits. So if you have a student at KCP that would like this group learning hands-on experience, you can email me to get signed up. In my email, it's a little small, but it's on the slide. Thank you.
Hello again. My name is Jessica Satoot, and I'm a licensed independent clinical social worker. I am located at the KIPP Promise Elementary School on the Benning campus. And I'm excited to announce that I started right at the pandemic. So I am growing with the KIPP Promise community in real life time virtually. We are all learning and adjusting together. So I can truly empathize when you come and meet with me. And I am really excited to share that I will be offering some upcoming groups at the Promise Elementary School. Thank you. And there will be 8 weeks virtual groups on self-regulation and self-esteem. As we can imagine, during the time of the pandemic in this virtual world, the students are dealing with a lot, just as much as we are. And sometimes, you know, it's tough to turn your camera on and who knows what's going on in their minds. And hopefully during this group, we could address some root causes of some of the behaviors and challenges that you the parents and are seeing and the teachers are experiencing as well. And I'm hoping to also create space for parents. You know, this is also a lot for you all right now. So I would love to just offer some time for us to have a check-in and figure out what kind of support you need. That could be a great opportunity to discuss some of the social services that programs that we have at Mary Center or outside resources, or just someone to talk to. You know, sometimes being around kids all day is a lot. Shereece and I had the opportunity to co-facilitate a parent workshop that she will share some more details about, but in that space, we were able to learn that parents need time too. So I hope to be able to have an opportunity to get to know you in this virtual space until we could see each other again in office space. Although in some of my specializations are listed there, but I will just share that overall what's important to me is to build a collaboration with the parents, with the families, and to really figure out the best way to support your child. You know them best. I believe that every family have strengths, and I really want to get to know that to really build a holistic approach to serving your child. So I hope to get to know you throughout this school year and in the future. And my contact information is there. So feel free to reach out to me directly and absolutely to the school team as well, so we could get you connected with the services that you need. And I'm looking forward to talking to that parent from Promise earlier. So I will pass it along to Shereece.
Hi again. So Jessica said everything so beautifully, and basically our goal for all of our team members here at KIPP and all the other schools that we work with, but she said it perfectly, and that is our goal mainly when working with you and your family. So again, my name is Shereece Fraites. I am a licensed graduate social worker. I started at Spring Academy actually in January, so a little before the pandemic. So again, also learning with you all through this whole remote learning and, you know, sadly seeing my kids through a screen instead of us, you know, doing the work, which is how I do things, which is play therapy, because it's elementary. A lot of our children, that's how they express, that's how they learn, that's how they can really process through their emotions, is through play therapy. And that can be as simple as the toys that we play with, or it can go all the way into like art. And it could be a mixture of play and also talk, depending on, you know, the type of child that comes through. But a lot of the things that I do is, like I said, I do play therapy and psychotherapy, and that can range into multiple things. It could be trauma, anxiety, grief. I know a lot of that is happening now with COVID, and not just losses and like, you know, someone has died, but also the loss of our activities, loss of a school, loss of our peers, like all of that stuff. And another thing that I also do is connect families with community resources. I provide that support. Group therapy, definitely do that, and it can range from many of the things listed, especially transitioning to middle school to elementary. That was a group that I was hoping to try, but then, you know, pandemic hit. So hopefully something that I can do this year, because I know the transition, we don't know what it's gonna look like, but hopefully can help kids ease through that, because it's a whole different set of schedule and responsibilities and something new. And something that Jessica brought out is really like parent support. So that can be anything into like check-ins or what we really want to start back is our parent support group, because it went so well and everybody who talked about it said great things, and it was really processing how parents were feeling, taking on another role as teacher, as therapist, as, you know, parent, but also how do I help my kids during this pandemic? How do I help myself? How do I adjust to this? What's going on with the world? We talked about the racial stuff that was going on in the world, and we were also talking about like fun things too, like how do we self-care, and people got different ideas from each other. So it's something that we really want to start back again, and hopefully that can start coming out in November as well. But my contact information is also at the bottom. Now we have time for questions, if anyone have any questions for us. Oh, I forgot to say, we also have a person in Northeast, which is Jolia. She is here, not right here right now. She's on maternity leave, but she will be back in January, and she helps serve the Northeast side, which is the middle school side on Web Campus. Thank you.
So we want to go ahead and open up the floor again for any questions that you have for our Mary Center team.
Yes. Hi, how are you?
Hi.
My name is Denise. I'm Jordan's mom. He goes to KIPP Quest. Just wondering, do you guys offer any support there? He's in 3rd grade, and yes, he does have an IEP. So I was wondering, do you guys offer anything else for him, or anything for him?
Melissa, I'm happy to field that.
Sure.
I know Jordan. Hi.
Hi, I know you. Hi.
Yeah, say hi. I'm Dr. Spernoga. So Joe Mills is our Catholic Charities CBO partner at Quest Academy. So I know that at 3rd grade, Jordan is probably working with Miss Grierson right now. So a great point to start would be to reach out to her and talk about maybe getting linked with Joe for some additional services, and Ms. Grierson should be able to facilitate a conversation with the 3 of you to talk about how we can meet kind of needs above and beyond his IEP.
Thank you.
And tell him hi.
Will do. I don't want to tell him you're on the phone because he's gonna, yeah, you know, he's gonna be very excited. Thank you.
Hi, my question is for Jessica, the clinician from Promise.
Hi.
You said that you said you started from at the end of the school year?
Yeah, I started literally at the end of March. I mean, the end of February. It was my birthday week. And then the pandemic hit, and I was in the cafeteria passing out packets to go home.
Okay, so you said that how soon can we like reach out to you?
Oh,
you said you have the program haven't started
tomorrow.
yet. Okay.
Does that answer your question? Can I answer anything else?
No, I mean I'm a grandmother, and there's a lot of kids in my daughter's family. So
I can't wait to talk to you. No problem. I'm actually meeting with the school team tomorrow morning, so I could also mention it to them then.
Okay. So should I how can I give you my number, or I should just call you? I took down your number, but how should I call you tomorrow?
Yeah, or right now I could save you. I mean, after the meeting.
Right. Okay.
But yes,
Okay.
that sounds perfect. Reach out to me directly, and then we could go on from there.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I love that. Any more questions like that?
I know. These are great connections that are happening tonight. This is awesome. This is awesome. Yeah, and I just want to also just stress, because not every clinician is on this call tonight, right? So if you're a parent that's in this KIPP conversation tonight, and you go to a KIPP DC school, but you haven't seen that clinician on the screen, one of the things that we're doing is we have a website where you can click on the link. It's in the chat right now, and you can go and scroll down to your child's school. You click on that link, you put in your information, and your information is going to go directly to the entire mental health team at your child's school. So if you didn't see the email or the phone number on tonight's slides, but you still want to reach out to someone at your child's school that specializes in mental health, the website in the chat room is where you should go to link up with that team. And it'll always be on the website. It's something that we're starting now because we know in this virtual world, lots of things are electronic. And we want to make sure that you actually get in contact with the person and the people that you need to right away. So I just wanted to make sure I plug that again as well. And do we have any other just general questions about what kind of mental health supports are offered in our schools, or just anything that you're thinking about as you listen to the presenters today?
Okay, I have another question in reference to IEPs. How is the information disseminated to the teachers that your child is on the IEP? Because it doesn't seem like, there's a lack of communication somewhere.
Oh, that's a great question. That's a great question. So, so we have what we call our student support team, and they work in collaboration with our teachers in the school. So that would be our compliance manager, our special ed teachers, our related service providers. They're all part of the special ed team at your child's school or in all of our schools. And they work in collaboration with teachers to review IEP plans for students who qualified for those services to make sure that they're getting that specialized instruction in the classroom. Now, if you have a particular concern about, whether or not the services are being provided, that's another reason to reach out to the school team to kind of schedule time to talk about the specific needs that are or are not being met for your child.
And if this is
yes. Oh, sorry.
This is
I had a question.
Oh, I just wanted to really quickly address the last question. If you want to chat me your name, I can follow up with you. I'm the I work with all of the campus directors in special education, and I can follow up with you directly if you want to just chat me your name and number.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm trying to find how do I do the chat?
Private. Just if you go where it says everyone and you go to Dana Lurie, you can just send me your number and I can help you.
Okay, thank you.
Hello?
Yeah, sorry, ma'am.
No problem. I just had another question about resources for parents, or particularly parents that don't have any support as far as, or has support but is limited as far as remote learning. I work a full-time job and it's been hard. I do have some support, but I'm trying to maneuver in the event this remote learning goes on to the end of the year, because I'm at work during the day while she's remote learning, and I guess I'm trying to figure out what I could do possibly if the support I have now goes away.
What grade is your child in? Oh, Promise. Okay. All right.
Do any of the partner clinicians want to dive in on some supports that you could possibly offer?
I would say one of the things is to join in on the chats with other parents to talk about, because we're doing it monthly for parents to kind of drop in and have a conversation about what they're struggling with, so that parents will be supporting each other and we'll be providing support as well. But then also recognizing that it is not easy, and maybe you can reach out to that person that's at Promise that can probably give you some tips.
I was going to also say maybe reaching out to your Promise KIPP family to see if there's any families that are in your community that may have the same struggles that you can partner with, and you guys can support each other. That would be my recommendation as well, to see if there's some support opportunities there.
Okay. Well, thank you. I mean, it's working, but again, you don't want to wait to the last minute and you don't have any, we're in January and school closed, and the support I have now is like, well, we can't help you anymore. I'm stuck.
I love how proactive you're being, and you're right. That's such a tough challenge right now. And I work part of the Promise community, so we could also follow up and chat. And I will also advocate and bring that up in the meeting as well to let them know that that's a real concern. And I do know that the school offers at least like one day where students could come in to school, but like you're sharing, like you need additional resources. And I know off the top of my head, I think Boys and Girls Club is also offering something, but we could continue to chat offline about other specific resources.
Yeah, that's a great point, Jessica. I was about to chime in and say that we have what we call Wednesday workshops, where families can opt in to have their child come into school on Wednesdays. We're about to like reopen enrollment for that starting on Monday. And I think they're going to start again on November 18th. So enrollment opens on Monday if you're interested in having your child participate in that Wednesday workshop, and they'll get extra support from live teachers who are also there in person. So we just wanted to add something to supplement the remote learning that they're doing at home, because we know a lot of times students learn best from like that one-on-one in-person interaction. These are great things. You know, when I listened to what you were saying, Mom, it made me think about how we might want to have more parent workshops or more opportunities for parents to kind of engage with each other, right? All you guys came on the Zoom today. It probably would be a great idea to kind of open up a forum to have you guys chit chat about what are some things that are working for you? What are some things that are not working? Like, let's exchange ideas and best practices so that if the longer that this pandemic happens and the longer that remote learning happens, maybe I might gain some new skills and some new tricks so that I don't feel as stressed as I was the day before.
I'd like to add one more thing, because the KPO at KCP did their host of their regular meetings. At the last meeting, we did do a presentation on managing your stress during this time. So that might be another way to kind of look to see what's coming up for the next meetings at your campus as well.
Excellent. Thank you, Tiffany. All right, well, we are actually over time, but I'm encouraged that people stayed on and asking questions and looking for new ideas and sharing strategies. I really appreciate your time this evening, from everyone, from presenters to parents, all KIPP DC staff that's also on the call. We hope to have more KIPP conversations that focus on mental health in the future. Like I said before, our team is so big and we have so many different types of practitioners that specialize in different areas of mental health on our team. And I'd love to be able to have the opportunity to share them with you in one of these settings. So again, feel free, click on the link that's on the screen there so that you can reach out to your school team if you have some concerns. And I really appreciate you. I'm going to stay on for a little bit longer. If anybody wants to stay on and have another chat, I'd be happy to stay on. But without further ado, enjoy your evening. Thank you for coming, and have a great rest of your week.
Good evening, Melissa.
Thanks so much, Melissa, for hosting this.
You're welcome.
This was great. Thank you all.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We so appreciate you.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, hey, can you stay on really quick so Jordan can see you?
Sure, of course.
I appreciate it. He's gonna lose his mind. He asks about you often.
Oh.
And I'm like, buddy, I don't know her information. I'm sorry. Look, Jordan, look who's on the phone. Look.
Hey, bud, it's Dr. Maya.
Yeah, right. Well, her hair is different.
Yeah, my hair is different. It's been
It's
changed
lovely.
a bit.
It's lovely.
How are you, buddy?
Always asked about
Maybe he was thinking about another person who looks like you.
Right? No, it was you. I remember. I remember the head, the lovely head. I remember.
My hair's